Hey guys, so I'm sitting home today. It's rainy. I'm not hunting, I'm not fishing, and I've had this idea, kind of a video. It's not a product spotlight, but it's kind of a show and tell, I guess you would say. But I seen a video, a really good video by another YouTuber, and he talked about guns and knives that he uses for his application of hunting and working on horseback, and in the country that he's in. Um, and it kind of inspired me to kind of look at all the stuff that I carry and I use on a daily basis, not just for work, but when I'm out hunting, when I'm out fishing, and the one particular item that really sparked that, oh, man, I should really do a video on that. I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't know how many views it'd get, but I really don't care. I wanted to do a video, and that was this. It was my Gerber saw. This thing has been an absolute workhorse for me. Pop it out of its little sheath. As you can see, it's still got a little bit of deer remnants on it, bone and hair and stuff. And man, this thing has been solid. It is not a big saw, which I like. The blade is, I don't know, I want to say 3.5 inches long, but it's got a really good handle on it, non-slip. And this thing has been an absolute workhorse. And this really sparked me to go, man, I should do a video, because this thing just zips right through deer. I mean, no effort at all. Zip, and you got a deer chest cavity wide open. You can get the lungs and hit the trachea and all that good stuff that you guys know. So this is really like the first piece I wanted to show and talk about it. It's a Gerber pocket saw, and it's honestly been solid. There's two tools from Gerber that really turned me on to liking Gerber. I used to always think they were just a cheap brand, but after this and another tool that I will show here in a second, I was like, yeah, man, like their stuff actually pretty decent, and it's actually something I carry every day for work, and it is their Gerber multi-tool with the pocket clip. This thing, awesome. It's very affordable, rugged, reliable. It's got a little pocket lint on it. For what I do every day, it is awesome. I don't carry this with me in my personal time. I only carry this particular one when I'm working, so it is absolutely a work tool, which is cool, which leads me into another thing I want to do. Is I want to make another video on just tools, not just knives, but other tools, not like power tools, but like outdoor work, kind of homesteady. I got axes and machetes and stuff like that I think it'd be cool to make a video on. But yeah, man, this is just the reliable, affordable, Gerber multi-tool. And then that kind of leads me into some of my other everyday carries, and that's my Kershaw pocket knife. This is I don't know what they call this locking system, but it's pretty popular with Benchmade, and a lot of other ones are making it now. This is a very slim profile knife, very lightweight, very basic, pocket clip. It's not spring loaded. It's just got this little flip up. It's reliable. There's been zero issues with the blade, and the blade's razor sharp on it. I hone it every now and then. This is in my pocket every day, which is awesome. That kind of leads me into some of the other knives I've carried. Spyderco, little Spyderco. As you can see, this one's well worn. This has been used. These are all knives I use. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. These are just products that I've actually bought with my money and used. Spyderco. I actually have two Spydercos. This is my older one that I used to carry with the G10, and just the I guess this is just metal finish instead of the black. As you can see, this one's got a little crud on it. They're all sharp, and they go into the lineup of knives that I use. I do have one Benchmade. This is, I think, the mini something or another. I actually don't. This is the one I carry the least. I like Benchmade. I really like their locking system, and this is a really smooth, nice, well-built knife. It's a smaller knife for me, and I don't know. This knife was like $100 and some when I bought it years ago, and it's actually one of my least favorites for some reason. But Benchmade, this one's a very cheap knife. You can get this off of Amazon for like 20 or 30 bucks, but it's actually a good brand. It's a K-Bar. Let's see if we can kind of get in there. Yeah, it's a K-Bar. This is another one. I carry this one quite often. I use it and abuse it, and because it's so affordable, I really, I don't care for it like I should, although it's in phenomenal shape because it's holding up very well. And then some of these other knives that I have here, I don't necessarily carry, but there's like this Kershaw. This was a gift from somebody. I don't really carry it because I don't like the shape of the blade, but it is actually a switchblade. This mostly just hangs out here at the house. I don't really carry it. I mean, I have carried it before, but this is mostly kind of just sits, kind of an emergency knife. It sits in one of my smaller drop safes that I have. And then I don't carry this one in my pocket, but this one gets carried frequently in a bag. I do keep a backpack with me with some other useful tools in it, and some other stuff that I like to keep inside my vehicle. And this thing is old, well loved. It's missing parts. It's been very much used and abused. It's got crud on the blade. Probably have to sharpen it. But this one hangs out. I usually always have one of these hanging around in my personal vehicle. I use my Gerber for work, and then in my personal vehicle, because that one hangs out in my work vehicle, I usually keep this in a bag somewhere. This thing's been super useful. You cannot go wrong with one of these. And then some of the other knives, and let's talk about the knives that kind of took me down this journey of wanting. It wasn't just a saw, but there was some other knives that are like, man, I like to do a video on knives to kind of talk about it, and that was my hunting, processing, my whatever you want to call it knives. But Outdoor Edge, they are a multi-pack. You get multiple in there with a sharpener, and then there's some gloves that come in here. This set is well used. We've processed many deer with this. One of my personal favorite knives out of this is actually this knife right here. It's a smaller knife. They don't hold their edge that well. You got to sharpen them frequently. I sharpen them after every use, but the shape and process, the grip, they hold a decent edge. I mean, you can get through a whole deer and then have to sharpen it, but I like this knife. The knife that I least like out of this is this one right here. I've tried to sharpen it. The gut hook on this thing sucks. I can't get it sharp. Drop down in the comments if you guys got a really good way or video or, just information on how to really sharpen a gut hook. Because I like this set. I really do. This is a really good sized knife, but the gut hook sucks on it. So it's actually my least favorite. And then this one right here, I actually end up, I don't use this out in the field. I end up actually just using this back at the house. This is kind of remnants of a knife that I really want to get, which is a Victorinox knife for processing wild game and meat here at home. This is a really nice one. You can process fish and other game, and it, razor sharp. These other two I will use out in the field, and then this one mostly gets used here at home. This whole set's going to get retired to just processing at home, honestly. I don't want to. This one knife I've recently replaced, and I think just going down the one knife out in the field is kind of where I want to be at. And that will bring me into the knife we're talking about, and it is actually another Gerber knife. I just recently picked this one up, so it hasn't been out yet. But this one, it will be replacing that other one. The gut hook on this is very sharp. The blade itself is very sharp. It's a very not a heavy knife, but this thing has got, as you can see, it's got a. All right, I had to pick up the video. Sorry, so we'll cut these two sections together. But we were talking about this knife. This is a recent purchase. It's got a very thick spine on it. Really nice, comfortable. If your hands get wet, get bloody, if you got gloves on, this is a really nice knife. It's yet to be tested, but this and my saw are pretty much where they're going to be in my hunting pack. I did used to carry this set with me hunting. We obviously keep it in the car and then go back and get it when we were ready to process deer. But I want to keep my, some of my field processing stuff with me at all times to make dragging these deer out a little easier, gut them, lighten them up a little bit. So these two will hang out in my bag for hunting. I've been so happy with this and then this for work that I figured, why not? I mean, they're affordable and they seem really good quality, and I'm happy with it. And so let's kind of move on to some of the miscellaneous stuff I have, stuff that I use. And this kind of is getting into more of, I don't carry it, but they're kind of tools. And this is kind of the thought process I had for, let's make a separate video for tools. But fillet knife, fish fillet knife. I do a ton of fishing. This one was a cheaper one. I forget where I got it from. It's filleted a bunch of fish. If you're local to Maryland, rockfish is mostly what this thing, rockfish, see if I can say it correctly, crappie, is mostly what this process is. A few white perch. It is, I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah. It's lived a rough life, and honestly, it needs to be replaced. I don't remember what brand it is. It's a cheaper brand, but I filleted a lot of fish with it, and it's something I do keep. I need to replace it. And then small knives like this has no particular job or use. This is, I guess it's a boot knife. I'm not really sure. It's a very small knife. I do carry this on occasions. This is I have really big hands, and this is actually a smaller knife, and it's actually very handy. It's really just, it's got a little sheath to it. I don't know. If you're feeling it, carry it, I guess. If you're wanting to do that, it's kind of what that knife becomes. And then this is my camp knife. I've had this knife for a really long time, and honestly, it needs to be replaced because I picked it up at a gun show years and years and years ago for like nothing. And we've used it. I've used it. Family members have used it. I mean, this knife, it's not an expensive knife by no means. It's got a little bit of corrosion. Blades kind of got, it's a well-used knife. It's a great size. I think this is the brand Edge or Right Edge or something. I don't know. It holds a pretty decent edge. I've had it. Oh my goodness. We've used this. This is just like a multi-purpose, like just beater knife that gets used for everything that I've had for years. It's got somewhat of a sentimental value to it. I think this was one of the last gun and knife shows I went to with my dad. My dad hasn't passed or anything. It's just that's something we haven't done in a decade or more. Probably 2 decades, gone into like a gun or a knife show together. We used to go to a bunch of shows, gun, knife, motorcycle, shows like that. So this is I bought this at one of the shows we went to together, and it, a little sentimental. It's cases, so I've got, I think this a rubber band or a hair tie, or man, this thing is just, it's old, it's beat up, and it's okay because it's still a useful tool of mine. And then we kind of get into some of these other, which are kind of borderline. They're not really knives, but they're actually tools. This knife right here is a very large knife. I do not believe it is an expensive knife. I do not really use expensive knives because, they're tools. You should be able to afford to replace your tools when you need to. So this, it's kind of a multi-purpose. It's honestly like a mini machete. And what I end up using this knife for the most is actually when I'm bank fishing. if I'm going to a new area where I haven't been, like pond hopping for bass, I do that a lot in the spring, and I'll actually bring this along and essentially just use it as a mini machete, and I'll go ahead and, whack branches and bushes and just, whack shit out of the way. Actually, yeah, you can tell it's whacked a few things. Handle's a little loose on it. It's not an expensive knife. This was a gift from somebody as well. Somebody gave it to me. It's a M-Tech USA or something. It's cool. It's really the perfect size for just, whacking through brush and stuff like that. And that's mainly what it gets used for. Just carry it while you're fishing and clear brush out of the way so you can, make a cast or something like that. And then we kind of get into, tools. This is my Eastwing. This isn't an old axe, but it's definitely a well-used axe. We've used it on a couple camping trips so far. As you can see, it's been used and abused. It's Eastwing. Everybody, knows Eastwing. I don't think the newer stuff is as quality as what it used to be. For Christ's sakes, it's got a warning label on the handle, which I hate when things have warning labels on them. But it's whatever. It is a tool. We do use it. It's got a decent edge on it. We just used it I think the last trip we went on, the camping trip, was Pennsylvania Total Archery Challenge up there in Seven Springs. We camped out, and this chopped all the wood that we used up there. We used a bunch of it every night. We had a cool campfire. And then the last one is this right here. This is a machete. It's, I don't remember what it was. It's nothing special. So this has been used. I don't know if you guys can tell. It's got dirt and crap on the blade. This rides around in the vehicle for the same reason I keep this one for whack and brush. I'll keep this one inside my vehicle, and if I get going down like a back road or somewhere, and we start getting brush that's like scratching the car or shit that just needs to excuse my language, but just brush that needs to get out of the way of the vehicle, I like this. I usually keep it tucked away in like a trunk or in a storage area of the vehicle, and it's got a saw on it. It's a good emergency tool kind of too. It doesn't get a ton of use. I've kind of stopped using it inside the vehicle, and I started actually just keeping my Eastwing inside the truck when I need it. So yeah, that's kind of, so I do have like a couple other knives. Husky Utility. I've got a couple of these actually. I think I've got 3 total. I have an older one, and I have a super new one, and then I have this one. I don't carry a ton of these knives. I do like the fact you could just change out blades, and I will throw them. I think this one actually I took out of my hunting bag. I had it in my hunting bag. I've got one in my work truck. They're good. They're useful. I don't use them a ton. I know guys that swear by these, and this is all they carry with them. I don't. That's kind of just that's what I use. I thought this would be a cool little video, kind of just show and tell on the tools and knives that I use for my outdoor activity, hunting, fishing. Some of these knives see a ton of use, and they've held up great. And I think the common theme between all my knives are they're affordable but good quality, and that's really what I look for in a weapon, or not a weapon, but a tool, an everyday carrying tool. And that's what I look for, is something, this knife, I think this Kershaw knife, I want it to sell, it's like anywhere from 30 to 50 bucks, and it has been solid, absolutely solid. I've put it through, I don't baby it. I've smashed it through some stuff and cut some stuff I probably shouldn't cut with it. Same thing with this. I think this is like $20 off at Amazon, and I use, abuse. I mean, I sharpen them all, and I try not to be just a complete goober with using them, but they're all affordable, they're all replaceable, they're all usable tools for me and what I do, and in my professional life and my work, and then in what I do outside of work, all the hunting and fishing. So drop down in comments some of the knives and small tools that you guys use and carry every day and that you recommend, the brands, the type, what you guys use them for. Give the video a thumbs up or give the video a thumb down. I don't care, man. I thought this just be a fun little video while I'm sitting at home to make. Thank you guys for watching.